Day number 3 of the CrossFit Games is just a few minutes away. Saturday is typically moving day, is one of the terms we use for most competitions, but this year's been a little bit different. Let's just say it's the halfway point. Tommy Marquez here in the Fit Aid Lounge at the Morning Chalk Up Show presented by Nike alongside Kenzie Riley. Brittany Klein, Kenzie's joining us today, just to kind of add a little extra flavor. Kenzie, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm feeling good. Yeah.
I know that you'd rather be out of the competition floor, but we're happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. I'm very excited.
Brittany, kind of taking a look at what we've seen so far, just halfway of the competition, what stands out?
Yeah, well, moving on from what Kenzie said, there's devastating cuts, but there's also amazing highs. We saw some great memorable moments, history-making moments on day 2, some devastating cuts, so it's really been an emotional roller coaster. You can probably hear in the background of the Fit Aid Lounge some very dramatic, cinematic music, and I feel like that's what the CrossFit Games this year, you can't write this stuff.
Yeah.
It's incredible to watch as a spectator, and I guess pretty interesting as an athlete as well.
Oh, very interesting as an athlete.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at this day 3 schedule for you guys. We got a ton in store for you. We're going to take a look at what's up first. Starting off the day for day number 3, we got the morning show here at 9:30 a.m. It's going on right now. At 10 a.m. we got the team sprint relay. That was announced last night during the press conference. Then at 10:30 the individuals will take their hand at the sprint. 12 p.m. team event 7, that's yet to be announced. That's in North Park. 12:30, our afternoon show will be here to kind of break up the day, give you guys a breakdown on the first couple of team events and the individual event as well. Individual event 7 and 8 will go back to back inside the Coliseum. And then once everything is said and done, we'll be here to wrap things up, provide you guys some analysis as usual. Just taking a look at the schedule today, guys, what kind of stands out with the sprint relay?
The biggest thing for me, everyone's talking about it, is Dave Castro said yesterday, we're going to see another cut, 10 athletes after the first event this morning. So obviously, a lot of athletes, they're going to cut the field in half again, and a lot of athletes aren't going to even make it to this afternoon.
That's just savage. Like, there's a whole entire day and a half left, and you're going to have 10 athletes. So I think just looking forward that has a lot of questions about how they're going to fill a day and a half with such a small field. So either a lot of events or longer events maybe to come, but I'm really interested to see this event because it's a repeatable effort. So that stands out a lot to me, and I'm interested to see how that changes the concept of a sprint, and I don't know, I'm just excited to watch this play out, really. No
doubt, and we do have some cuts following that, but after the cuts last night, Reebok had to refit some of these athletes. That was something we had known for a couple of days, but we actually took a look at what happened with the refitting. Brittany checked it out. Take a look, guys.
Well, for the first time ever this year, there's a refitting of athletes heading into the weekend. Surprise cuts, and some of our favourite athletes didn't make it, but we're here with the team of Reebok to see what goes into refitting the athletes.
Very challenging, but it's exciting at the same time. So we get to outfit them to start the entire competition, and then redecorate as we go into Saturday and Sunday, and it allows them to get some new outfits that they can kind of wear for those days.
What goes into the process?
It's a lot of planning just to make sure we have enough of the inventory and to get all the sizes of all the different products, but we came together and made it happen. You have to go through that process of having all of the names decorated, transfers created for them to be applied to the product. But that's making sure that anybody could advance into these stages, so we had to be prepared.
And I guess that applies to the leaderboard as well. Do you have everyone's names ready to take that jersey?
That's true. We have everything prepared as we go through that process. Definitely. We hand everything off to CrossFit Athlete Control. They'll handle having them prepared for the morning. So the athletes will be excited as they walk into their area to receive their product.
So Christmas making it to the weekend of the CrossFit Games.
Obviously, Brittany on the ground, thank you for checking out that refitting. A lot of people had talked about what was going to come in that package, and a few things that kind of maybe gave us some clues as to what's coming down the pipe in terms of programming.
Well, the athletes will be receiving them as we speak, so they're probably looking through it. For the spectators, though, I did see that there was a little swimwear in there. We've hinted that there might be a swim event come Sunday, so I guess a little disappointed that we maybe missed the swim event.
I mean, for me personally, yes. I have a swimming background, so I always love to see a swim event, and I'm not gonna lie, the swimsuit that you get with your normal uniform is better for swimming and training swimming, so having one of those every year just like gives me a new suit to wear for the year for training.
Maybe you can go and ask Nightly. Nicely, if you can have a freebie.
Bummed that we won't get to see you out there, but happy to have you at the desk as well. We're going to transition over to the competition right now. We're going to take a look at Team Sprint Relay, which is what it's being called. It was announced during the press conference yesterday. So basically what it's going to work as a relay fashion, we're going to take a look at the event description here for you in just a second. Each member of the team will run the sprint course relay. Teams will race against each other head-to-head in a 2-round bracketed tournament. So basically, all the teams will go. I think it's going to be 3 teams, then 4 teams. Then we'll cut down to 5 teams. We'll have one final round of all the teams. Each team member will basically go through the course, come back, tag off, just like grade school competition growing up, you know, on the playground. We're going to take a look at your overall leaderboard for the teams coming into the day. And at the top, it should be no surprise, your overall leader after 2 days, Mayhem Freedom, a nearly 100-point lead, 91 points to be exact, over CrossFit Krypton Solid in second. Invictus, OC3 Black, we mentioned last night, 2 teams that started off a little slow, managed to battle their way back into podium contention. Guys, taking a look at this overall leaderboard and what we have in store today, kind of what stands out? What are some teams you're interested in seeing?
Well, I think this will be an interesting event. We haven't really seen a sprint event for the team since I think about 2012, so it'll be interesting to see how everyone goes. I guess I really want CrossFit Krypton to make a bit of a push towards the top of the podium and give Mayhem a bit of a scare. And Camille and Jess, I guess they've seen sprint events as individual athletes before, so maybe that could work in their advantage, given that this is a newer style event for the teams.
I actually have them noted as well. Krypton, they're some of my friends, so I can speak to
insider knowledge,
a little bit of that. Strong runners, specifically some sprinting skill there. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. I kind of have them pegged as maybe a favorite for that. But I also have a lot of other, again, teams that I like to cheer for. Mayhem is always very fit, does very well, so I plan to see them do well as well. Just because, let's face it, they're fit and they always do well. But I also was on a team. I don't think there's been a sprint event since when I was on a team in 2016. So we did do a sprint event in 2016. So I'm interested to see this play out in the kind of elimination, similar to like the Rogue tug of war. So yeah, I really like that. It's a different pressure every time. So kind of having that continued pressure round after round. So, interesting format.
Yeah, totally. I love the kind of elimination format. It's just a little nuance here, something you don't always get in your daily programming, something that's kind of a nuance that's more specific to the CrossFit Games here. We're going to take a look now at the team individual competition, and the individuals are going to take the floor and do a similar workout. Here's your workout description for the individuals. This is called sprint. It's going to be a similar format for the individuals as well. They're going to go through basically the same course, and they're going to race in heats of 5. It's going to be a 3-round bracketed tournament. Places 1 through 5 will be awarded to the athletes in the final round based on their finish, right? So in the past, and it should be noted here, taking a look at the description, in the past, in some of the bracketed stuff like the obstacle course, it was the winner plus they backfilled with the top times. For here, it's my understanding that it's only going to be the top times, period. It doesn't matter if you win your heat. If you're not one of the top times, you can move on to the next round. Obviously, I think that's a little bit more fair. But taking a look at the overall women's leaderboard now with that in mind, here are your overall leaders after day number 2. At the top, she finished day 1 overall in first place as well. We've got Tia Claire Toomey. She's your overall leader, followed by Carrie Pierce, who had an absolute monster performance in Mary last night. Kristen Holta, another strong performance. Jamie Green's been in the top 5 solid. Then rookie Anna Fradkow, her first time at the CrossFit Games representing Greece. She's in the top 5 overall as well. Amanda Barnhart came into last night's event in second, slips down to 6th. But there are some names that are in potential, or have the potential of being cut after this event. You know what? It's the sprint relay, so that's basically going to be the workout that decides their fate. There's some athletes like Sarah Sigmund's daughter, Katrin David's daughter, and Annie Thor's daughter, who is down in 10th, as well as some athletes who should do really well that are already in that top 10. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, we could lose 3 daughters in one fell swoop here in a matter of what? 15, 20 seconds, depending how long the sprint lasts.
And that's the thing, there's no room to hide. It's like the Hunger Games. It's this elimination, and it's just going to be quick. It's going to be brutal, as you said, Mackenzie. I'm really worried about Sam Breitz as well. She's typically a runner, but not so strong on those sprint events. I think she's placing 16th. So we may see, another favourite cut by midday.
It's shocking. Like, it's crazy to even think that we're going to see a CrossFit Games without any daughters maybe hanging out at the top. And I think that that's just nothing I'd ever experienced. But I do think that each of those athletes are very different. I know that Katrin has like a sled dog, identification with that. So I don't know if that is a sprinting type of sled dog, but more of like a grindy sled dog. She did well in the ruck. So the sprint may not work in her favor. And then also, I know that Sarah hasn't had the best sprinting history as far as games events go. So I'm not sure if this is something that they're excited to see. And I don't know about Annie because I don't think she did. She wasn't here for the sprint last time. So I think I'm just waiting to see it. I'm just waiting to see.
Yeah, totally. And Sarah basically needs to win the event. And I have to give you guys an update. Last night we reported that Sarah Sigmund's daughter didn't make the cut. There are a ton of score adjustments based on appeals after the Mary event last night in the Coliseum, so things got shuffled back around. Turns out Sarah Sigmund's daughter sneaks into 20th place overall, so she will be out on the field. But she's about 80 to 90 points back at that 10th place in Annie Thor's daughter. She essentially needs an event win if she wants to move on. And moving over to the men's competition as well, here are your overall leaders for the men's side of things after day number 2. Some scoring adjustments as well at the top. It should be noted, after the event, Joshua Wichtrup had his score adjusted. Originally, Willie George was inside the top 20. After the score adjustment, bumped down to 21st. So it looks like last year's kind of rookie of the year out of France, who was top 10 at the games, won't be making it to the second half of the competition. Your overall leader, though, Noah Olson, 2 points ahead of Matt Fraser. We saw them duel it out in Mary last night. Probably one of the highlights of the competition this weekend. Jacob Heppner, Scott Panchik, two guys that have been hanging around the top all weekend in 3rd and 4th. James Newberry slips a little bit. Adrian Moonweiler probably having the best CrossFit Games that he's had so far in 5th. Will Morad, we talked about his comeback season so far in 7th. Brittany's friend Matt McLeod, holding strong in the top 10 after a pair of strong performances.
And he's a sprinter too. He's not a bad runner, so he could do well in this event. I spoke to him actually a couple of months ago, and he said, I asked him if he was going to win at the CrossFit Games, and he just laughed at me. But this kid has come and he's shown up.
And sometimes, you just put a big platform up in front of a new athlete, and they really step up to the plate. But taking a look at the top right here, we had an epic performance from Noah and Matt going head to head, and some big names on the bubble. Could we talk a little bit about that race between them and how you think that's going to go?
I think his lead's going to be short-lived, buddy. Poor Noah. You've worn the leader jersey for one event, but I think Matt's going to come back. We spoke about this yesterday. There's nothing like a man scorned, and there's nothing like a Fraser scorned.
Yep.
I think he's going to come back angry. We've seen him sprint before, and man, that guy has worked on the hole in his game, and he can run. Noah Olson didn't do so well in the ruck event. He's not a runner. He's a sprinter, but I don't know. I like Noah, but I don't think he's going to be wearing that.
Well, I looked back and saw. I just keep referring to the 2016 because I think that was the last time we saw a sprint, and he did not do. I don't think Noah did so hot in that event. So, I mean, I don't know if this is going to help that out for him or not, but I mean, at the end of the day, we know that Fraser he's here. He's here to do it. So, like, I love Noah. I do, and he always has the best attitude, and he's always super chipper. And I don't know what it's going to be like back there. I mean, it might be icy cold. But I feel like he'll always come out there with a smile and do his best, and we'll see what happens. But it's fun to watch.
And kind of speaking to that, like, I don't think a lot of people understand what it's like back there in the athlete area. It may be different for the women. Maybe you can speak to that as well. But what's the general attitude between athletes once you start to get closer to competition time?
It's interesting because, I mean, they stage us in the back, and then they walk us the long walk over to the Coliseum, and you're like you might be joking around and talking, and then they put you in your corrals over there, and it becomes, you can see people. That's when the shift happens. Everybody's a little different, but I think for the most part everybody tries to keep it lighthearted and fun, but when it's time to compete, the competitors, the ones that are, I mean, everybody's here to compete, but the ones that are like the very serious competitors come out, and you can see that.
Yep. And sometimes you can see it on the face when you see some of the highlight reels, but it's always kind of hard to tell. Is that how it goes?
And everybody deals with it differently.
Yeah.
Some people get more talkative, and when they're nervous, or and it's interesting to see. But yeah.
Well, we definitely know Matt Fraser is going to bring the heat a little bit, because you can see that kind of
no doubt,
fire.
No doubt.
But one of the things that Matt has the benefit of is getting to wear the shoes that he normally wears in training out in the competition floor. We caught up with some athletes after a few of the events throughout the competition, including after the press conference a couple nights ago, to see what it was meant to them because of the new rule. What it meant to them basically to be able to wear their sponsors, their shoes, the things that they wear every day out on the competition floor now that the shoe ban has been lifted.
I mean, did you see how I ran? He says that everything.
I love it, in the sense that, selfishly, in the fact that I get to compete in what I train in all year round. It's the shoe that I think is better. So for my personal benefit, I think it's great. And then on a bigger aspect, I think it shows that the sport's growing. The big brands are in it. It's going to get some more publicity now, and I think it's just going to do nothing but help it grow.
Oh, it's nice, yeah. Not only does it feel better, but you got a little bit more swag when you're wearing your own shoes,
What it means is that you can have a little bit more experience with your footwear coming in, so you feel a little bit more confident when they throw a goofy event at you. It's not your first time throwing on the cleats or the running shoes.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's slipping on what's familiar, and that's always really nice. Coming to the CrossFit Games, I always tell people I can compete in whatever you give me. I will do it, and it's just you got to shift your mind. But there's just something about being comfortable, being in what you know and how you know it's going to respond.
It was kind of a hot topic that basically the restriction on shoes was lifted and the athletes can wear whatever they want, but I think you can really see there that it resonates with some of these athletes, that they actually get to wear what they train in every single day out on the competition floor for the first time in a few years now. And now we're going to kind of shift things over. We'll toss you guys out to competition in just a second. But before we go, just some final thoughts, kind of looking forward to what's probably going to be the most kind of out there Saturday we've ever seen in CrossFit Games history.
Yeah, formerly called Moving Day. Now I guess it's just brutal cuts. I guess for me, I didn't add the point earlier, Cole and Pat Velma, 10th and 11th. That's what I'm going to be looking for in this first event, just to see, like we've been talking about, some of our favourites, they're going to be gone. And that's really a race in the men's competition, so that's where my eyes are on how those two men do.
I'm just really looking forward to seeing the whole rest of the weekend play out with 10 athletes, what sort of programming lies ahead, how it is coordinated, and how they fill the days.
Yeah, we're not used to just having one heat of athletes for essentially half of the competition.
And teams.
Yeah,
teams. It's just, there's so few people involved at this point that
we might have more people joining us in the beer garden, who knows?
Yeah, totally. Basically, between the individual competition and teams, we're only going to have 3 heats total when we would have 4 heats in just one division. So we could see maybe some different programming come down the pipe. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back later on this afternoon about 12:30 to break down some competition after both of the team events and the first individual event of the day. We're going to send you guys out to the North Park for the team sprint relay. Thank you guys for joining us. For Brittany Klein, Mackenzie Riley, I'm Tommy Marquez. We'll see you guys a little bit later.